It's Wednesday, October 10. Here's what's making InfoHub today. President David Granger today accepted letters of credence and commission from 3 new ambassadors and 2 high commissioners. The president reaffirmed government's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations with the 5 nations. Stacey Carmichael was at State House and filed our first report.
President Granger accepted the letters of credence from Chile's ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Patricio Arturo Becker Marshall, Ambassador of the Netherlands, His Excellency Jacob Richkert Fredericks. Letters of commission were accepted from High Commissioner of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Emmanuel John Nchimbi, and High Commissioner of the Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Hassan Jika Ardo. The ambassadors and high commissioners shared their nation's commitment to improving bilateral relations in numerous areas, including oil and gas, energy, mining, and more. President Granger reaffirmed the government's commitment and cooperation in building mutually beneficial relations with the nations. A new ambassador of the Kingdom of Norway, His Excellency Niels Martin Goneng, was also accredited. Ambassador Goneng congratulated Guyana on the oil discoveries offshore, noting the petroleum sector's transformative nature. The ambassador also praised the Guyana-Norway Forest Agreement.
We sincerely wish you all the best in tackling the exciting, but no doubt also challenging times to come. Our 2 nations share the highest ambitions to tackle climate change and its devastating effects to development. We are proud of our forest and climate change partnership that has seen good results.
President Granger said Guyana values the friendship established between the 2 nations since August 2, 1976 and looks forward to further collaboration.
Guyana aims at becoming a green state, one which will place increased emphasis on the protection of the environment, the preservation of biodiversity, the promotion of renewable energy, and the adoption of practical measures to ensure climate adaptation. Guyana looks forward to enhanced environmental cooperation with Norway, based on the principle of sovereign equality of states, as it progresses towards a low-emission pathway to development.
The head of state was joined by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams, acting in the capacity of Foreign Affairs Minister, and Director General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Audrey Waddell. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
President David Granger this morning said contrary to media reports, the Guyana Teachers Union GTU has not put forward any new offers. He was speaking following the accreditation of the Chilean ambassador at State House.
I was quite surprised that matters that we assumed had been settled as of Monday found their way into the columns of the newspaper on Wednesday. And we also had an understanding, I won't call it an agreement, that the government side was obliged to go back to the Ministry of Finance in order to verify the figures, and that the union side would go back to the executives in order to ratify the figures. So when we parted on Monday morning, there was no talk of going to the media, trial by media. There was talk about verification of the figures from the Ministry of Finance and maybe seeking the assent by the executive of the GTU.
Government has proposed a 10% increase for 2017 and 8% for 2018 in teachers' salaries. The Finance Ministry has commenced preparations for the oil and gas sector. Paul McAdam sat down with Minister of Finance Winston Jordan and brings the details.
The Finance Minister Winston Jordan explained that if the ministry is to really make a difference in the new sector's advent, the way business is conducted really has to change dramatically.
I'm trying to examine who we have, where they can fit in, who requires what training, what kind of people we are going to bring in. And my theory is, for the most part, it has to be young people with some semblance of experience, even if they don't have, but they have potential. We'll bring them in, try to train them, and so forth.
He said there has been a heavy focus on building staff's capacity since he took up his post.
Every opportunity I say send in somebody. But you know what's the backlash of that? We don't have too many patriotic people in Guyana. Don't have too many. You train them, they're now marketable, they're gone. They're gone. The next dollar that is paid, Not all of them, by the way. I salute the ones who have thing. The next dollar that is paid, they're off and gone.
Stating that he understood why some previous ministers were not interested in training staff, he described himself as an exception.
I continue to expose our staff. Once they have potential, I continue to expose them. Even some people are astonished that I'm signing their scholarship forms, because in the public service you have to wait 3 years minimum before you go off on a second degree. The problem with that in some universities is that 3 years your degree is old and they don't accept you. So some things have to change, right? 18 months your degree for your first degree is far as you're concerned old. 3 years they got problems. You got to go back and do certain courses and all kind of stuff. You got to do a certificate rather than going on the full master's program and so on. So we have to look at all of that.
According to the finance minister, whilst the monetary compensation is not, quote, great, the addition of some fringe benefits offers an incentive to staffers along with a scope for certain levels of advancement, which, along with the aforementioned training opportunities, continue to aid in retaining quality staffers. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The first ever Green Expo and International Small Business Summit is a demonstration of Ghana's future green economy. Tiffany Rogers spoke with chairman of the planning committee and filed this report.
Chair of the planning committee behind the event, Eric Phillip, says the aim of the Expo and Summit is the promotion of economic diversification using oil revenues.
We have over 200 fruits and vegetables. We're the most endowed nation, one of the most endowed nations in the world with fresh water. We have forests, lungs of the earth. So Guyana is in a unique position with all the land we have and small population to really diversify our economy so it's sustainable.
The two-part event is slated for October 18 to 20. An international small business summit will be hosted at the Princess Ramada Hotel on October 18 to 19, Phillips explains.
We have speakers now from 16 different countries, experts in the green economy. So we'll speak about the Green Guyana Development Strategy. We'll speak about green energy, so it's solar, it's wind, it's biomass, it's hydro, and how that fits into our energy matrix as we go green. We have green agriculture. What do our people do with all these assets we have, all the fruits and vegetables, all the different things we have that we can export with a different.
The Green Expo will be held at the Guyana National Stadium tarmac in Providence on the east bank of Demerara. Phillips said some 120 exhibitors will participate.
It's not like the traditional expos. We are showing people the future of a green economy. So for example, we have woods direct, we have Vulcan forestry, and we have the Central Housing and Planning Authority. They have built 3 models of homes of the future. Homes that are energy efficient, homes that will be driven by solar power.
Guyanese businesses and financial institutions will also be displaying their green alternatives at the Expo. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
The inaugural Green Guyana Expo is almost here at the National Stadium tarmac, October 18 to 20. Come and experience green living, green technologies, green agriculture, and so much more. Gates will be open 2 p.m. daily, and admission and secured parking is absolutely free. Enjoy live entertainment throughout the event with food and drinks and exciting games for the kids. Come out, learn green, go green. Let's experience our future together.
Welcome back. Minister of State Joseph Harmon is currently in Cancun, Mexico for the 13th Conference of Defense Ministers of the Americas, which will conclude on October 10. He is accompanied by Chief of Staff of the Ghana Defense Force, Brigadier Patrick West. During the conference, Minister Harmon emphasized Ghana's commitment to working with all states in the hemisphere, while noting that there is need to ensure that the armed forces are geared towards providing humanitarian assistance to small and vulnerable states, in addition to fulfilling their mandated functions. The Minister of State said, through Ghana's participation at the conference, there is now a better understanding of various areas, including the evolving role of the Army, the role of women in the armed forces, climate change and defense, and best global practices on defense and security issues. In an effort to encourage more young people to read and also expose them to robotics, STEM Guyana and the National Library teamed up today to commence a 2-day robotics workshop for staff members. Here's that story.
First Lady Sandra Granger says the initiative's objective is one that not only improves
participants' oral skills, but introduces them to technology.
It's a marvel to me to see how our young people just become fascinated with the different parts of these robotics kits. And then they start to use their imaginations and decide where they want to go with it. So I think the marriage of the libraries and robotics is going to be an exciting union, because I think you, like us, especially for the library people, want to see our children reading and learning and absorbing that love of language and that love of literature. But at the same time, they're doing something useful.
Co-founder STEM Guyana Karen Abrams says it also allows the agency to provide equal opportunities to the nation's future leaders.
We think that this is a beautiful marriage. One thing I always say is that talent is equally distributed in every community, but opportunity is not. So our goal is to bring the opportunity into the community so we can identify the talented young people who will be able to benefit from this program.
Those interested in the program will need to become library members, according to Abrams.
They have 15 minutes of reading, and then they get to sitting to go over to learn scratch coding. They then work on robot building and programming, and then we'll have another group working with the NGSA math app. Those sixth graders who are taking the exams, we'll like them to do 15 minutes of math as well when they come in at some point during the program. So it's going to be a fun, exciting program, and we are just using that opportunity to reinforce some of the other skills.
Neil Deman, InfoHub. Mental health continues to claim the lives of our youth. Minister of Public Health Walter Lawrence says more will be done to address the issue at the level of the schools. Isaiah Braffett brings us the details.
Minister Lawrence was speaking at the University of Guyana's first mental health fair in observance of World Mental Health Day. This year's observance is themed Young People in Mental Health in a Changing World. Minister Lawrence said that the first quarter of 2019 will see secondary school teachers being trained to recognize mental health disorders.
The unit is seeking to target secondary school students in a more connected manner. The intent is to train teachers in the first quarter of 2019 to recognize mental behavioral disorders so that they will be better positioned to identify students who may have mental health issues. In this way, they will be referred and support would be provided by a core of health professionals that will include doctors trained in mental health, social workers, and personnel from the mental health unit.
University of Guyana students Risa Roberts and Shakina Stewart said that the initiative will help to raise awareness to young people since a number of secondary schools were in attendance.
It would help in bringing awareness to mental health, especially since they had several schools in attendance. Then it would help to make the population that we're aiming to start helping, it would help to make them even more aware. And then helping them to know all the different agencies and all the different bodies that are available to help them.
They give very deep insight on what mental illness is and how people have different perceptions of it and how we can actually handle it. And Honorable Minister Walter Lawrence spoke mostly about how important it is that we handle and know how to talk to adolescents dealing with mental illness problems, depression, anxiety, stress, and everything else.
Stakeholders were encouraged by Minister Lawrence to assist those dealing with mental health to remove them from a path of self-destruction. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
International Day of the Girl Child will be observed on Thursday, October 11, and in this regard, 3 girls will be granted the respective opportunity to be President, Prime Minister, and Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana for the day. Delicia Haynes has more to tell us.
18-year-old Renuka Prasad, President for the day, 20-year-old Delicia George, Prime Minister for the day, and 20-year-old Sarah Mohan have had the opportunity to act as President, Prime Minister, and Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana respectively for one day. The Canadian High Commission spearheaded an initiative where girls had the opportunity to submit videos highlighting why there should be a Day of the Girl and 3 key issues facing females today in Guyana. This stems from the United Nations International Day of the Girl Child, which is observed this year under the theme, With Her, a Skilled Force.
In its first year, we had just a couple of women, but girls, But as time went by, the amount of girls that came forward and presented their messages, it was phenomenal, which means that girls all over the world have so many things to say as it relates to women, girl empowerment, opportunities for girls. And the government has been doing a good job thus far in providing girls with the opportunity.
My encouragement to girls, especially in celebrating the International Day of the Girl, is to seek development, to become more than just normal, to also become professional, try as much to seek professional development, and to pierce the unacknowledged barrier to elevation in any profession.
The girls agreed that the one day in leadership will be quite a memorable one, as the experience has given them a better insight into the work of senior dignitaries.
You could never anticipate the amount of work that goes into one day of the presidents. Just today we did a lot of ceremonial things like photo opportunities and just general discussions. You can't know what goes on from the outside. People really, they really judge what goes on here, and they say that they're not doing their jobs or they don't do as much as they should, but they really are.
For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
To reduce the risk of developing cancer if you choose to drink alcohol, do so only in moderation. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, social media, and our website at dpi.gov.gy. We leave you with your bridge and weather reports. Goodbye.